Imagine a king so unpopular. Even a stranger missing an ear could walk into the palace and challenge his throne. And the mastermind behind this was a cat. In the year 1318, during the troubled reign of King Edward II of England, a man appeared at the royal palace of Beaumont in Oxford and claimed the right of inheritance to the realm of England. His name was John of Powderham, also known as John Ypres, a young clerk from Oxford, who, according to his own astonishing account, was the true heir of the long-deceased King Edward I, as opposed to the impostor with not a drop of royal blood who currently sat on the throne. It was a mind-boggling assertion, yet some say John bore a striking resemblance to the king, except for one detail: he was missing an ear. And for that, he had a perfect storybook explanation. According to John, when he was a young child, a pig bit off his ear while he was playing in a royal courtyard. And terrified of punishment, the nursemaids swapped him with a carter's son. And that low-born child went on to become England's king, while John himself was cast into poverty and obscurity. He demanded recognition, even went so far as to challenge Edward II to single combat, offering to prove by arms that he was the rightful king. It was an outrageous story, a tale of a madman surely, but he told it with such unwavering conviction that gained him a small following of curious and sympathetic listeners. John's story spread quickly. Oxford was a university town full of gossip, scholars, and idle clergy, exactly the kind of place where a dramatic tale could catch fire, and it sure did. King Edward II apparently saw the funny side of this, even suggesting John be kept on as court jester. But Queen Isabella was not amused. In the aftermath of Edward's humiliating defeat by Robert Bruce at Bannockburn, his bitter quarrels with the barons, and his fondness for low-born pastimes like rowing and ditch-digging, and whispers that he lacked true royal blood and carried dangerous plausibility, and the risk that rebellions could rally around this pretender make John a danger too great to ignore. He was arrested and brought before the crown's official. At first, John stood firm in his claim, but when the grim judgment was pronounced, that he should be dragged, hanged, and finally burned, the story took a strange turn. John eventually admitted that he had made the whole story up. He claimed that one day, while walking through Christchurch Meadow in Oxford, his cat, which he insisted was actually the devil in disguise, suddenly started talking to him. It spun a fantastical tale, telling him where to go, what daring words to say, and even supplied a storyline that convinced him he was destined to take King Edward II's crown. The confession did him no favors. John of Powderham was executed, and the alleged devilish cat was hanged and burned alongside him for treason. After all, you couldn't risk a feline mastermind hatching conspiracy elsewhere. It's an intriguing tale, but did it really happen? Royal imposter stories were not uncommon, and John O'Powderham was almost certainly a real person. His case is recorded in the Chronicle of Lanarkos, which mention only the alleged influence of the devil, with no reference to a talking cat. The feline companion seems to have appeared in a later, more dramatic retelling, lately shaped by the dark perception of cats as sinister creatures and agents of witchcraft, a view often reflected in folktales, especially during the height of the witch hunt. While modern pop culture has given us characters like Salem Saberhagen from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, or Thackeray Binks from Hocus Pocus, the stereotype of the magical, malevolent talking cat is obviously no Hollywood invention. It has deep historical roots. You might recall Grimalkin's, the she-cat mentioned in Shakespeare's Macbeth, a fairy cat from a Highland legend later associated with accused witches in Scotland. Or the infamous 1619 Bivar Castle witch trial, where the devil was said to communicate with John Flower and through her cat familiar, Rutterkin. Another well-known case comes from the 1566 Chelmsford witch trials in Essex, where Agnes Waterhouse, one of the first women executed for witchcraft in England, confessed to having a cat familiar named Sathan. According to witnesses, the cat not only spoke to Agnes, but also carried out harmful deeds on her behalf. This association between cats and maleficent power wasn't just folklore. It began to seep into public life and festival culture. You can imagine the impact on their public image. A story like this wasn't exactly great PR. In fact, it was a full-blown branding disaster for cats. And that disaster manifested in some truly grim traditions. Take the Flemish city of Ypres, once a key cloth centre in medieval Flanders. Cats were kept in a cloth hole to protect valuable wool and cloth from rodents. But what began as a practical solution turned into a gruesome ritual. According to the Ypres Chronicles, cats were thrown from the 70-meter-high belfry tower to the square below during the second week of Lent, a day they refer to as Cat's Wednesday. The reasons behind this practice are debated. Some believe it stemmed from superstition, linking cats to witchcraft and misfortune, and with their death seen as a way to drive out evil spirits. Others suggest it was simply a brutal method of population control. Whatever the reason, this cruel spectacle went on until 1817. Today, Ypres has transformed their dark legacy into celebration. Every 3 years, on the second Sunday in May, the city holds the cat parade, where floats, costumes, and playful performances fill the streets. And from the very same belfry tower, cats are still tossed, but now they are soft toy cats, symbolically thrown by a jester to the cheering crowds below. If you think throwing cats from towers was bad, the next tradition took cruelty to an even darker stage. Cat burning was a cruel public spectacle in parts of Western and Central Europe, particularly between the 16th and 18th centuries. In regions of France, the practice was especially associated with St. John's Days on 24th of June, a Christian festival layered over older midsummer celebrations. During these festivals, live cats are gathered into nets or cages and lowered into bonfires. An account from 1758 records that in Metz, local magistrates organized an annual ritual, or a cage of live cats was ceremonially burned in the public square. Many believed the cats' agonized screams were actually the cries of witches who had transformed themselves into cats to escape execution at the stake. Burning them was thought to banish evil and bring good fortune to the community, though in reality it amounted to nothing more than ritualized cruelty. And Metz wasn't the only place where this happened. Municipal records from Paris itself show the city supplied cats for the official St. John's Eve bonfire on several occasions in the 1570s. Later historians, including Norman Davis, described that cat burning was a public attraction at Paris Midsummer Fair, with special stages built to lower nets of cats into the flames before cheering crowds. Further south in Saint-Chamond, some later accounts describe two grim variations of cat torment at midsummer. One tells of locals soaking a cat in flammable liquid, setting it ablaze, and chasing it through the streets. Another has them tying a poor cat by its tail above the St. John's fire, so when the string burned through, it fell into the flames and fled in panic, pursued by the crowd who call themselves chasse-mine, or cat chasers. Whether this custom was really practiced exactly as described, or partly exaggerated in later retellings, is hard to prove today. By the very fact that such a story circulated and was believed speaks volumes about the climate of fear and superstition that surrounded cats. In early modern England, cruelty to cats was tangled up with religious and political conflict. On 8th of April 1554, in the second year of Queen Mary I's reign, a dead cat was found hanging from the gallows at Cheapside. Its head shaved like a tonsure priest, dressed in mock vestment. The bottle was placed nearby, and between its front paws was a piece of paper like communion wafer, an obvious mockery of the recently restored Catholic Church. The Queen was furious and demanded the perpetrator be found, but despite the handsome bounty, no one came forward or was ever punished. More than a century later, during a time of heightened anti-Catholic tension under King Charles II, a letter from the courtier Charles Hatton describes a mock anti-papal procession in London's Smithfield on 17th of November 1677. A large wicker effigy of the Pope was paraded through the streets and then burned, reportedly stuffed with live cats. And the screams of those cats were mockingly called in the language of the Pope and the devil. Meanwhile, further up north, a different tradition took shape. Up until the late 19th century in Denmark, Norway, and Scania in southern Sweden, the pre-Lenten holiday of Fastelavn once included a custom known as beating the cat out the barrel. A live cat was placed inside a suspended wooden barrel, and participants would take turns hitting the barrel with clubs until it shattered. A traumatized and most certainly injured cat that managed to escape symbolized a banishment of evil and misfortune. The person who broke the barrel was crowned king of the cats and was often awarded privileges like a year's tax exemption, not too shabby for a short hour of work. While the Danish Fastelavn customarily allowed a cat to flee the shattered barrel, some accounts of the similar German practice describe the cat being killed and buried in the fields afterward. Today, Fastelavn has transformed into one of the most eagerly anticipated children's celebrations of the year, and gone are the live cats, replaced by sweets. Kids dress up in colorful costumes and take turns striking a wooden barrel painted with a black cat. The two children who land the decisive blows, typically the one who first breaks the barrel and the one who knocks down the last piece, are crowned queen of the cats and king of the cats, and the spilled sweets are shared among everyone. It is a lively, joyful event, far removed from its harsher origin. The old, cruel customs are no doubt disturbing, but it's important to stress that, while documented, they were localized and occasional, not a widespread, everyday persecution. Cats weren't usually targeted in large numbers. This was specific cultural rituals, not a continent-wide war on cats. They do, however, reveal a familiar human pattern. When fear takes hold, when the world feels uncertain, we look for something to blame. And for centuries, that scapegoat was often the cat. A liminal creature, neither fully tame nor truly wild, living by its own rules. Their independence was seen as defiance, their watchful silence as conspiracy, and in a world obsessed with order, their unpredictable nature became a threat. Maybe that's why we have never completely trusted them, and why we have never stopped being fascinated by them.